Hello and welcome to WEF Weekly. It is Rolex Week, which means the finale week of the Winter Equestrian Festival. It is the culmination of an amazing season and a great way to start in the world of show jumping into 2023. A whole list of successes to discuss, but this leaves the final door open for a big win at the tail end of what has been 13 weeks of amazing competition. And joining me for this Rolex Week are three major hitters for this week as well, I'm delighted to say. Alongside me is, of course, Athens Olympic champion, many-time Grand Slam winner in the Rolex series, Rodrigo Pessoa. Rodrigo, a good day for you so far.
Yes, it was good. It was good. I'm happy with the performance of my horse, and so yeah, it was a good day.
We'll take that so far. We'll come on to that one in a minute. Aachen Grand Prix, Geneva Grand Prix winner here more times than I care to remember, Kent Farrington. Kent, it's been a pretty good season so far into 2023.
Yeah, so far so good. My young horses have come on pretty strong this season, so that's been nice to see. I put a lot of time into building that group, and hopefully we're in form for the final week.
Well, looking forward to that. Daniel Deusser, winner previously of the Rolex Grand Prix here. In fine form as well on the back of those Grand Slam wins in Spruce Meadows, of course. For you, how are you feeling about this final week? You've also been heading back to Europe to keep in shape.
That's correct. I've been back in Europe for a couple of weeks. My horse Killer Queen stayed here. She performed earlier in the season here in Wellington. Had done now, I think, 5 weeks off and started today in the WEF Challenge Cup. She had one down in the jump off, but performed well, and I'm looking forward to Saturday night. Well,
three big players to be a part of this week's Rolex Week. We're going to reflect first on last week as well, on the Week 11 finales that included, of course, the Bainbridge Grand Prix and also the final of the Captive One 150 series. And the winner of that, yet again, went to Ireland and to Darragh Kenny. His heat topped the order and was enough in the lead going into that final stage that he had it done and dusted before we got there. Well done to him, and here's what he had to say about that success.
I've been very lucky this season. You know, I've had probably one of the best seasons I've ever had here in Wellington. My horses have all been great. They've been in great form. They jump brilliant all season, and I'm just happy. You know, they had a great season and they came out of it brilliant, and I'm happy about that. I'm very lucky. I have a couple of really good owners right now, and we've a couple of really nice horses, so it's worked out very well for me. You know, I've been coming here for 12 years. This is probably the best season I've ever had. You know, like, I have some great horses at the moment. They all performed excellent during the season. You know, it's a super, WEF is a great place. You know, you can build up horses. Your older horses, you don't have to use them so much, but there's good prize money when you do jump them. And it's been a great season for me. For me, it's very much about, you know, how the horses feel and, you know, having them enjoy it, and that's the most important for me.
Well, very good success for Darragh through the season. Of course, we've seen him on the podium as well into the 5-star Grand Prix. It's also been about the next generation. Last week into the Equitation Championship, sponsored by NetJates. Carly McCutcheon was the winner there, and it went to that final four out of the stadium under the lights. And so here's what Carly had to say after that big win here for success in Equitation Championships.
So Choco Star, I've been riding him for over a year now, about a year and a few months, and he's the best partner I could ask for. He's such a confident horse, and that makes me more confident. The harder the test, the better he is, and I really think he loves his job, and I think that's what makes him so great. So I'm really grateful to have a horse like him to be able to do these classes on. So I had to go second. It was nice to be able to watch one go. Jordan had a beautiful test. I knew I had to do something more technical to possibly move up, so I decided after the wall to land the counter lead and hold it, and I believe I was the only one that did that. And Choco's just incredible at testing. The harder it is, the better he is, so it was a good test for him, and it paid off. It still doesn't seem real. I'm so incredibly grateful for the team around me. It really does take a village and the right partnership, so I'm very grateful to my parents and grandparents and my trainers, the whole team at Stonehenge, and especially Choco Star.
Well, that's the future, but we're going to deal with the present now and the Rolex Grand Prix for this massive finale week here in Wellington. It's what's been a long but interesting season with top-class sport from end to end, culminating here on Saturday night as well. And for the three alongside me, let's say a little bit of their view of how it's been into 2023 so far. Rodrigo, first up, we've just seen you finish well into that Weft Challenge Cup. You had a really good top three finish last week in the captive one with Major Tom. How's it been panning out?
Well, I had on week 7 of the 5-star, I had some problems with him, and he had some uncharacteristic mistakes, and so I had to get back to the drawing board and solve those problems. So we took a couple of weeks off, and then he started competing again last week, and he did the captive 1 final at night again, and he did very well. He was 3rd, and then today he came out again very well in the WEF, which was a difficult class, and he finished 2nd. So I'm really pleased of how he recovered. And unfortunately, Saturday night will be a little bit, pushing it for him, and we have big hopes for this horse, and the year is still very long. So I'm gonna sit it out. Although it's hard to sit this one out, because with a horse of that quality, you really want to, go for the big classes. But it's the right thing to do for the horse, and so he'll have a couple of weeks off and start in the spring again, and have a busy summer.
But he must be making you very excited for what's coming up, especially your string of horses right now.
No, for sure, and I'm very lucky to have a great string of horses, the support of Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Artemis Farm. Great horses, and obviously this horse is really special. We've been bringing him along for the last 2 years, and he's coming up the ranks very well, and now we're at the last stages of making him ready, so we can't get too excited, and we got to take that last step in order to make it right. And but I think he has a lot of quality, he has everything that we ask for a top horse, and we're excited for what's to come ahead with him.
Well, it looks a really good one for Major Tom. As you say, you've got a few others in there. You had a good run the other day with Chile, with Lord Lucio, for those coming through as well.
Yeah, no, it's not all about one horse. It's a team of horses. This is it's a very expensive sport, and we are very lucky and grateful to have the support of backers like for myself, for Artemis and Paseo Farms with Quick Step. So it's a team that everything has to come together, and we're very, very lucky to be able to count on the generosity of all those people.
Ken, for this season, WEF for many we see it as a block in a season, but actually it's the starting point of 2023. I was talking on the live stream earlier about the success in building strings, and it's one simple word, which is hard work. And that's what you've been doing over the last 12, 18 and a whole career. But with the horses you've got now, how have you felt about it's come out this year? Because you've been getting success after success, but it doesn't come by chance.
Yeah, I think that's a consequence of the work that's put in and the efforts that are made, as Rodrigo said, with backers being behind us to buy quality young horses and producing them through the levels and see where they end up. So I'm excited where this group is headed, and we'll have to see what they do on even bigger stages than here. But we're off to a good start this season. Let's see where it goes.
Talk me through a few of those. We've got Landon, we've got Orofina, let's run through
I have Tulena and Greya. Those are 9 years old this year. They both won a Grand Prix here. Landon is 10. He won a Grand Prix on the grass. He had a top finish and a 5-star here at night. Orofina is 11 this year. She's won a few big Grand Prix already, but I didn't do much with her this season. I kind of let her rest to give the young ones experience here, and that's sort of what I've been doing, is rotating them through the different weeks so they each get some time to get in their different settings of day, night, grass when we had that open for us as well.
And it's very hard for me to turn around and say, okay, which one's making you most excited? But I would say it's the whole group, I would have thought.
Yeah, as Rodrigo said, to do this sport at the highest level, you can't be just reliant on one horse. So, I don't know that you can even say that this one is better than that one. That'll be in the record books when they're finished competing, and which one did the most. But it's a great group, and I'm looking forward to it.
And talking about the record books in the end, it was Gazelle this year, of course, but it's exciting to see that now progressing. We've gone to the Arc and Grand Prix success, the big successes with Gazelle,
sure,
and now get back in.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the career of a show jumper, is you're always speculating, building up new horses as the other ones age out, and I think that's what all of us do here. Certainly these guys know just as well as me, if not, they've had more experience than me doing the same thing of multiple careers of different horses and managing them and trying to build up the next group at the same time. That's really what the life is about, to stay at the top of the sport.
And how much do you feel pressure for that, or is that just part of life now?
I think that's what we do. You know, it's
Yeah.
I don't know if it's pressure as much as it's just routine. We're used to that. That's our own expectations to want to be at the highest level. I think we all put a lot of pressure on ourselves, as does anyone that succeeds at a high level of any sport. So I don't think that's unique to us. I think that's just the way it is.
Absolutely. Daniel, for you, a brilliant year last year. It's been a brilliant run. We go back to that Rolex Grand Prix win here in 21, but last year Spruce Meadows, you've had Aachen since then. It's been quite a run. Killer Queen here, you've got other options with Tobago as well. That's going to be headed for the World Cup finals. You're definitely coming out punching hard as well from your side too.
Yeah, like you mentioned, maybe my situation is a little bit different compared to my two colleagues here. I have actually two very experienced horses with Tobago and Killer Queen, which, yeah, in the last couple of years had actually a few major wins. Killer Queen is here this year. I have to say she competed in 2 5-stars here, made it also 2 times in the jump off. We are missing a little bit the last luck, maybe the last communication is not 100% so far, so I try to work on that a little bit, and with the experience of the horse and the quality of the horse, it should be better to step up a little bit.
But again, I see from exactly as we talked with the other guys here, is you're the person putting pressure on Daniel Deusser, is Daniel Deusser.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, Killer Queen had major results in the last couple of years. It's just a question of how good is the communication between the two of us, and at the end, that's my job to work it out, and my job to give her the best possibility in the ring to jump.
Turning our attention to Saturday night, Daniel, starting with you, how are we feeling about it? How's that thought based on what you've just said?
I'm actually feeling confident about it because I know that Killer Queen knows the arena. She jumped a couple of times under lights here. For her, it is not really a pressure for her. It's more on me to, like I said, to manage her and to bring her to the jumps in the way that she needs it to. I mentioned earlier she had 5 weeks off here. She jumped today, the WEF, had 1 down in the jump off, which I have to say I mismanaged a little bit the line into the combination. Now it's up to me in the next 2 days to bring everything together and hopefully bring in fit in a good situation on Saturday night.
We've got a few shots of you winning here back in 2021, so that might help with the motivation from that point of view. How do you guys prepare for Saturday night? What's the plan over the next couple of days? Kent, starting first.
Yeah, I think, same as any big class, you want to keep the routine the same. Horses thrive under methodical training and having a systematic approach because they gain confidence in something that's repeatable. So I think it's, all of us have our own routines with our horses and our way of riding, and I think it's in a bigger class or a more important class that you try to do things the same way you always do it so that the horse thrives under this kind of experience.
Rodrigo, you've been through major championships there. We've seen Daniel just coming to success there in the Rolex Grand Prix. For you this week, as you say, you're going to take a sidestep here, but that's again part of a bigger plan. If you were heading into Saturday, what were you like, normally? Do you treat it any differently?
No, just like Ken said, I think that the most important thing is not to do anything different because horses are creatures of habit, and you don't want to change anything, especially going into a big event like that. You have your system with your team, with your backup team, and you want to try to give the horse the best condition possible to perform well and yourself be well as well. So I think that it's not the time to try anything new. You can do that on another time, but I think that these guys here will have a really good chance on Saturday, and it's a tough playing field. on Saturday. There was very good combinations. So I think no, it will be a great class, but for sure not try anything new before Saturday.
So we get to the jump off on Saturday night. It's Daniel v Kent. Who's winning?
Probably whoever goes last has a better advantage. You know exactly what you have to do. So I think some of that comes down to the draw. Who else is in the class? A lot of variables like that play into it.
Daniel, what's going to give you the edge?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. For sure, the draw plays a big role in it. Also, the course, we don't know about the course yet. Saturday night, maybe the course suits one horse a little bit better than the other one. That's also a little bit how we have to plan in the last 10-15 minutes before the class starts. Like we said, today we cannot change so much, we cannot teach them anything new. Most of the horses jump today, so tomorrow it's probably for everybody the same. We move the horses a little bit, we stretch them a little bit and try to bring them fit into Saturday night. Half an hour before the class we see the course, we make everybody according to his horse a little bit the plan, what suits which horse better. And then of course, you need a little bit luck as well and a good position in the jump off.
Ken, how do you mentally go into big classes, not just this classes? Do you get yourself, we talk about lots of different sports, whether it's Tiger Woods, whether it's the boxer, whoever it is, that get themselves into a zone. What do you do?
I think all of us sitting up here are very experienced. We've been doing this a long time. I think it's more, as I call, business as usual.
Yeah.
This is what we do. We're professionals at this sport, and we try to approach it the same way we would any other class. I think horses feel pressure, they feel anxiety, so our job is to just stay cool and and have confidence in our abilities and in our horses' training and in their abilities. So I think that's the best approach for this type of sport.
The confidence in the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit of WEF Challenge Cup. You obviously finished second there. Daniel Blumen on top with Gemma. How do you feel the class went?
I think it was pretty good. I think the course builder did a nice job. He had 13 or 14 clears, I think. All top quality horses. Most of them that are going on Saturday, but not all. It's hard to build without killing the horses and making them do like crazy efforts. I think the course had everything. Had nice questions and mistakes everywhere, and it was not crazy big, but it did its job. And Guilherme obviously has a lot of experience, and he's here. He doesn't go anywhere. He's here for 12 weeks, so he's seen all of the horses jump. And I think that the course builders, to some degree, they do follow also the horses because they need to, especially for weeks like this and the Grand Prix on Saturday, they don't want to get it wrong. They want to get it right. So I think that they also follow and they know the form of the horses and then plan a little bit accordingly. So I think the course was as expected. It was good, but obviously on Saturday will be a notch more, degree of difficulty, and some horses that are fresh that didn't go today. That just depends on what is best for your horse, if it's to jump today or maybe you just jump a little class and wait for Saturday.
There's a few going to make some changes by the looks of it. Ken, Landon just on the 4 faults there. What were your thoughts?
I thought he went great. It's an inexperienced horse. It was a difficult last line with a related distance, a bit long into a combination with a Liverpool. This is always a tough test for an inexperienced horse, especially towards the end, coming towards the gate. Light touch on that behind. I thought he went well. This class will probably be the biggest class that he jumps on Saturday night, so it's still a building time for him, but he's very athletic and he's very bold, so I think he can be a competitor even though he lacks probably the real experience to say that he's a favorite for the class. I think there's some others coming in. I think McLean is riding Azure. Yeah. It's on the heels of winning 2 of the biggest Grand Prix in the world. That'd be a heavy hitter for the class, and Shane Sweetnam is riding what looks like one of the best horses in the sport today. I think he jumped this class last year. Now it has a whole year of experience under its belt. He's been in good form here, so with horses like that in the class, I think it's going to be a strong build for Saturday. I
was going to ask which one's really impressed you, but obviously you've got McLean there with Azure, James Cancruz. They're hard to look past.
Yeah, for me, those are the two strongest for Saturday night, and I think the course will be built accordingly.
Daniel, reflecting on that class there, clears for you into the jump off with Killer Queen. Are we ready to go and take on Azure and James Can Cruz?
I hope so, yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's always difficult to say, but like you mentioned, the horse jumped 2 5-star Grand Prix here under the lights. For sure, these were a little bit similar classes to what we will expect on Saturday night. If I can make it one more time in the jump off, I just have to ride the jump off a little bit better or plan it a little bit better according to the faults I had in the 2 Grand Prix here before. And yeah, then we also have to see who was in the jump off, who was in front of us, who was still coming behind us, and what maybe suits which horse better.
For you, you won back out on the grass when we were over there. We've moved back into the stadium this time. Different atmosphere, different feel to it.
Yeah, correct. Rolex Grand Prix here 2 years ago was basically a different class. It was during daytime, it was on the grass. Here it will be under the lights on Saturday night here in the stadium. But I also ride a different horse and
different day.
A different day, absolutely. We have seen it here before. The atmosphere is really nice here on a Saturday night, and I hope with a great sponsor like that we definitely will try to give fantastic sport here on Saturday.
Ken, from your point of view, home ground for you here in the US, how much of a difference does that make? Or like many top sports, men and women, are you in your zone and dealing with what you need to deal with?
Yeah, I don't think that makes a difference for us. I think, you know, we travel around, we compete everywhere, and for everybody, this is kind of home turf at this point. We've all been here for months competing in the same ring. The horses are familiar, the riders are all comfortable, so I don't think that there's any advantage for me, unfortunately. But, that's the game.
It's your home course.
Yeah, I guess, but everybody else is home too, so it'll be tough.
Rodrigo, from reflecting on that class that we've just seen, let's just pull out a few of the options there that come out. Also, Daniel Blumen, Gemma W, finishing top there. Now, Daniel was second last year. We saw her in the press conference. If you followed it, he was tearing his hair out. He was frustrated at that. He's been second a few times. Won it 2012. He's going to be hungry.
Yes, definitely. You know, Daniel's a fierce competitor. He won a 5-star here with Ladriano a couple of weeks ago, but it looks like he wants to ride Gemma on Saturday. She's a wonderful horse that has already won some difficult classes, and he'll definitely be one of the riders to look out for. And yeah, I think she's, you know, he hasn't done too much with her. She's nice and fresh, and like you said before, the year is still long. You know, we're only just at the end of March, and there's still a lot of very important shows and very big appointments for all of us during the year. So it's not all about WEF, but the whole season in general.
There's going to be a lot of, as you say, a lot of big steps along the way. Ken, from your point of view, looking at some of the fellow Americans that have been teammates of yours, McLean we've mentioned in there, Laura Kraut as well, Ballotigny?
Yeah, Laura Kraut's been in great form. She won a 5-star here. That was a really strong class. She's incredibly fast with that horse and very consistent. So I think that's a good contender. Jessie Springsteen has her horse from the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Jumped today, didn't do the jump off. She's going to be saving him for Saturday. You know, that's also a big jumper with a lot of experience, and they could have a good result also.
For those watching at home that never get the luxury of going and seeing what the warm-up's like, what's the atmosphere like amongst you all at that point? Is it a little bit of camaraderie, or are we at the point going, we don't talk to each other now?
It's friendly with the friends, and it's not friendly with the other people. That's normal sport, but luckily the three of us are friends, so we get along out there.
You're all going to be talking to each other. Daniel, from your point of view, you've spent a good few seasons in here. You've won a lot of classes here as well. McLean Ward has been mentioned in there. He's been a real tear of winning classes here. You've been in and out of seeing what's going on, but you also were front and centre. You can see him in the Dutch Masters the other day. That confidence has got to help.
Definitely it helps if you're on a good run, if you had a few major wins lately, like McLean did in Geneva, also in Sartogenbosch. Apart from that, he is a very experienced combination together with Azure. And I know our sport is very difficult. You cannot win and win and win and win. There are a lot of competitors, 39 other ones that also want to win. but he definitely is on the run, and I think he has a good chance on Saturday night.
Absolutely. One on week 5, of course, into the Grand Prix there, but it's been very consistently picking off classes all the way through. I think I've lost count at the moment how many classes has picked off so far this season. From what we expect there, it looks a really interesting cast. McLean here with Callister, who's actually going to ride the World Cup finals. But, I mean, Kent, you were very much involved in this night. He really pulled it out of the draw there.
Yeah, I think McLean's group of horses right now is a strong group and a very experienced group,
Yeah.
which plays a big factor when you're competing under settings like this. And you know, he can really go pull out all the stops and go full power in the classes, because he's not having to worry that the horse doesn't have the experience. They've all seen every type of combination. They've done all of the inside turns. He knows exactly where he can drop a stride and horse's strengths and weaknesses. So that's why I think he's a heavy favorite with a horse that he has all the experience with around the world. That plays a big factor in our sport. And
a good testament to your program this year that the younger horses have been very much up there still.
Yeah, we're sort of at different points in our group. You know, his group is aging out as my new group is coming in. So we're, you know, that's going to be sort of the crossroads there. You know, the older horse with the experience and the younger horse maybe with fresher legs. That is always a contributing factor on both sides.
So Fantasy Rolex Grand Prix on Saturday night. If you could ride any horse in there other than the horse you're riding, Rodrigo, you're back in. Which one would you want to ride?
I think it's pretty obvious. James Can Cruz is as wild as all this winter, and we could see the development of the horse since last year. Just incredible, like the elasticity, just a big horse with the scope and careful. You know, it's when you have a horse like that, it's really, it makes your job easier. You still have to do it, but he looks like a really special animal.
Kent?
Yeah, if we can't take the same one.
You can have a 1-2.
I'll go with a dark horse pick. I'll take Bliss Here's horse Antidote. I think is fantastic. It's a small, really typey, quick jumper. You know, he's fantastic. He's really competitive, super careful, and on a good night, she's a great competitor and has a chance to win also.
Daniel, from your point of view, we're going to let you win it with Killer Queen. Which are you going to come second on?
It's a good question. I don't think I fit on Bliss horse. I'm a little tall. But yeah, James Can Cruz is definitely a horse from the look that I could picture myself on.
Yeah.
Apart from that, Rodrigo just said he's not going to ride on Saturday night because his horse is a little bit unexperienced, but that's also one horse that looks very impressive for the coming season. And I can imagine that the feeling is also quite nice. So maybe I can talk to him one time and he lets me ride it once.
Just lend me your horse. Yeah, it happens all the time. It's fine. It won't be a problem. Thank you very much to all three of you. Good luck to you two guys. Well done today. Good run. We're looking forward to seeing more later on the season. Kent, fantastic season so far. I know we've got big things on the horizon.
Thanks.
This year. There's going to be a lot with Pan Am Games and the big Grand Slams as well for Rolex. Same for you, Europeans, and the Grand Slams as well, aiming at those. Good luck on Saturday night. Maybe it's one of you two, possibly one of you two. The percentages are pretty high, guys. Good luck. You're going to be sitting out, but you're going to be seeing more of the season. Well done today. Good finish. Of course, it was Daniel Bloomer that got top in that Weft Challenge Cup, but who will be top of the Rolex Grand Prix? You'll find out by joining us on Saturday night. We're going to bring you the run-up to that Grand Prix class. The pre-show brought to you by Jumper at 6:30, and that's going to be across various platforms, including this and also ESPN as well. They're first to join us then for the horse side of things. Competition 7:35. Join us in the booth for that as well. Meredith Michaels-Beerbaum is going to be alongside me for commentary there too. And we're looking forward to that. Thank you to Daniel. Thank you to Kent. Thank you to Rodrigo. Have a great week. Good luck. Good luck for the rest of the season where it takes you all over the world. Not quite so easy to just come from your front door over here now. And we will be looking forward to how the Rolex Grand Prix plays out. Good luck. There's a big winner to come on Saturday night here in Wellington.